I'm a little chilly today, so I'm wearing my hat. This is my sockhead hat. My Advent sockhead hat from a few years ago. I was very chilly sitting here yesterday. And I ended up wearing my hat, and now I have it on again. Well, I was going to wear my cowl. My Copenhagen calling cowl, because it goes well with this sweater, which is also Isabel Kramer, but I can't remember the name of the pattern. This sweater is way too big for me, but it's like a tunic now. And so I put a turtleneck under it. I'm doing what I can to stay warm. My coffee. I'm Barbara. Thank you for joining me. It's December 30th. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I did do the crafting things that I said I was going to do. I'm doing my temperature bookshelf that Christy designed for my temperature project this year. And I started it. I got it all gridded up and I started it. I'm going to do the grab your drink. But you can see how big it is. Oops. You can see how big it is. It's going to be big. It's going to be a pillow. I think the grid is exactly, I think I didn't over-grid it. I think the grid is exactly how big it's going to be. But I've changed my chair since I last stitched, and I realized that I used to, when I was done with my needle, I used to stick it in the arm of my chair, and I can't do that because it's leather. So I have to find a needle minder. Christy made me several needle minders. I have to find one of the needle minders and have it on my table here, so that I can stick my needle on it. And it won't roll away or such thing. So anyway, so I gridded this and I started stitching. I haven't stitched in a really, really long time, I have to say. So that was interesting. I think I need a Band-Aid on my finger. I've been pushing my needle. I probably need a thimble, but I don't really have a thimble. Not that I couldn't get one, obviously. I could. So that, I also, in my cute bag that Carol made me, I also watched a video. I watched Very Pink Knits do the pattern. It did not get stapled together right now. It's all mashed. Do the disappearing loop cast on very slowly. Luckily, I was able to watch it and do it the first time, so I didn't have to watch it very long. And I started my Musselburgh hat. Now, according to the directions, that should be about all I do, and now I just go down and knit and knit and knit for a while. But it doesn't feel, actually, doesn't feel very big. Doesn't feel very big to me. So I am skeptical that this hat is going to fit me. But I did the calculation based on the formula. And this is how much I'm supposed to do before I start going down. So you tell me, does that look right to you? I don't know. Those of you who have made this hat, I don't know, I'm skeptical. Because it doesn't look very big, but we shall see. But I think I'm supposed to just go now on it. Go, 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 gadget. But I'll double check because I have been known to. Oh no, I have one more increase round. Well, maybe that'll do it. One more increase round. Maybe that's why it doesn't look big enough, because I didn't do that one more increase round. So I have knitting and stitching to do, and I have lots of stitching to do, and I obviously always have lots of knitting I could be doing. So I'll be doing that. I'm going to the grocery store today, getting more pork belly. I figure I can have a pork belly for myself and not for bacon, and get it processed and ready to go and freeze some of it. But I really liked that pork belly Dennis made me the other day, I have to say. So I'm going to go buy more. And I'm going to make crackers. So that's kind of the plan today. Not too much. We did go over to Aura's yesterday and took out her recycling and her trash, and got her mail for her. So she was good to go. She and I go on Tuesday for her rehab. They changed it to the morning, so we'll see how that works out, but we're going. I'll be bringing my knitting. I don't think the stitching is going to work as a project outside the house. It's pretty big. It's pretty big. So, there you go. That's what I did yesterday. I walked the dogs. Sorted out Aura. And crafted. I have a great life. I really do. It was, turned out to be pretty sunny by the time we walked, but it was kind of a damp, chilly day. It's been damp and chilly, and that's why it was so cold yesterday. So today I've done a little more clothing-wise, and hopefully, and with the hat. The hat helps. So, if I'm going to be wearing hats as my normal everyday thing, which why wouldn't I? A lot of people wear hats in the house. The Fat Squirrel talks about how she wears hats all the time in the winter in the house. And, you know, when you just walk the dog, and I mean, how many hats do you need? But if you're going to wear a hat every day, you need them to go with your outfit. Of course, this hat goes with everything. That's the nice thing about the Advent projects. They go with everything. Well, if I end up being chilly, I'll put on a cowl. So, no grand thoughts today. Just puttering along. Feels like, I don't know, maybe I should be giving some thought about it's the new year, and, you know, Leslie did a retrospective of all her finished objects that she did last year. That sounds like an awful lot of work. She must be more organized than I am. Although, I didn't have any mojo. It's not going to be that many things. Actually, I'm a little curious, so we'll see. See if I can come up with the things I made last year. It won't make my podcast too long. I'm thinking about 2022. It's hard to think about 2022. I follow a Twitter account that's today, in 1921. So it's like what went on 100 years ago today. It's very interesting to follow. This past week, 100 years ago, Eugene Debs was pardoned by President Harding, and released from prison. Eugene Debs was a socialist and a labor leader, and was had been speaking out against World War I and been imprisoned for 4 years for sedition. I don't know that I don't know if that law is still on the books. I think that was an unconstitutional law. But he was in prison for 4 years, and he ran for president while he was in prison. And he got 4% of the vote while he was in prison. Yeah, crazy, right? But President Harding pardoned him and released him on Christmas Eve, 2021. So I thought that was pretty interesting. A very famous labor leader, labor movement leader. We don't have a labor party as you do in Great Britain, but a labor movement leader. Anyway, so it's really kind of fascinating. The other thing that they posted was I think it was Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, 1921, there were tornadoes in Mississippi and a couple other states in the South. So we just had those terrible tornadoes in December in Kentucky and places like that. I mean, Kentucky's not Tornado Alley. I mean, obviously they have tornadoes, but it's not like Tornado Alley. And such an unusual time. Well, 100 years ago, it happened then too. So that was crazy. Anyway, I find it very fascinating. So we'll see what 1922 had on offer. See what they were doing 100 years ago. A lot of it is, you know, a new prime minister in Romania, or, you know, this or that kind of thing. Or so it's not just in the United States. Anyway. So, but I have been feeling like since Christy left, I've been living a quiet life over here. Not that I didn't much when she was here. It was quiet when she was here too, but don't have any grand plans, trying not to go out too much, and try to avoid getting COVID. That's what I'm trying to avoid. And cocooning a little bit, I guess. So that's that. I will be, and I need to think about what I want to have. I would typically have champagne for New Year's Eve. I think we will do that. We have champagne in the basement, so I don't have to buy any. And I'm making the crackers so that we can have snacks for New Year's Eve, just to celebrate. And try to welcome 2022 in with a happy heart. Won't be sad for 2021 to leave, to be perfectly frank. And I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high for 2022, but I will say that I am glad to have my knitting mojo back a little bit, because I think knitting is going to help me and cope. It's coping. It's helping me cope. So I think that's good, because I'm, and I hope you're finding that your crafting is having that effect for you too. So I'm going to be continuing with my stitching and my knitting and using them to help me cope. But we're going to give 2022 a nice welcome, and let's see how it all works out. 2021 was a little bit of a disappointment. Anyway,
I'm going to go. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please stay safe and stay